Okay, hi, this is Luke. I'm running my Way of the Beret series of guitar lessons. This is the second lesson in the series. Today I'm going to be talking about vibrato. So we started off talking about bends. Last lesson we talked about a unison bend, a whole tone bend, and a half tone bend. And that's going to lead nicely into my lesson today about vibrato. Now, you're probably used to the idea of vibrato with singers. Vibrato is Italian, like most musical terms that came out of Italy during the Renaissance, and it means to vibrate. So, in the case of a singer, it's very obvious when they get the sort of reverberating sound. I'm not going to try to do that because my singing is not particularly great. In the case of a guitar, you can get a similar effect by bending the string, as we covered in our first lesson about bending the string. So we're going to use some bends to achieve a vibrato effect. So without further ado, get your guitar and let's get started. Okay, so I showed you the unison bend, which was the first thing we learned. At the 15th fret on the B string. You remember that? That was an E, so a quick recap. Okay, so that was the bend, the first bend that we learned. So with vibrato, one way to get a really kind of wide vibrato is to use a whole tone bend. So you take this note, which is the first note we played, and you bend it up to the second note you played, and you keep alternating between the two with just a single pick. So you just pick once and then you let the string do the talking by vibrating it with a bend up and down as follows. So there I'm just lightly resting my left hand over the strings so that if I accidentally hit any of the strings, the sound doesn't ring out. Okay, so this is a very wide vibrato, and it can be really good in slow pieces if you want to milk it. So something like Whitesnake's Is This Love, the solo, it starts off at the 10th fret on the B string, and John Sykes plays as follows. And he bends up, so it's, and then he does this really nice vibrato thing, which is sort of a half-tone vibrato on the 7th fret on the B string. So John Sykes, who's formerly of Whitesnake, has one of the best vibratos in the business. So just that lick again, it sounds really nice. It's like, and then he adds on some more pentatonic stuff like. Okay, and so he builds into the solo from there. But that initial vibrato that you used should give you an idea of how useful vibrato can be within a song context. So that's sort of a wide vibrato in the bluesy style. I know the type of vibrato is more sort of nervous and less finessed. You're not concerned with actually hitting a precise note. You're more concerned with, say, adding a bit of colour to a note at the end of a fast lick, and you want to bend slightly between two. So we're going quite fast and quite nervous, so say like a pentatonic lick. You can see some of these in my third lesson, but I'll just add some vibrato on the end just so you get a feel for this the second lesson. So again, our friend, that's the 15th fret on the B string. You get quite a fast and nervous vibrato, like in a bluesy style. So that's blues vibrato in both kind of a wide style and a narrow style, and slow and fast. So play around with it a bit. Vibrato makes your guitar sound like a human voice. You can give a lot of colour to your notes. The final type of vibrato I'll show you is the classical vibrato, and to me it's quite hard to detect a sound at all. Now with the blues vibrato that we've just been doing, you have been bending the string up and down and moving your fingers up and down, perpendicular to the way that the neck goes. With a classical vibrato, you slide your fingers up and down the string, not up and down onto another fret, but just up and down the string on that fret, and it only alters the pitch very slightly. So, or maybe if you got a slightly wider fret, so I'll take the 5th fret on the B string. You slide your fingers up and down like so. You can hear a slight vibration, but to me it doesn't sound anywhere as nice as a bluesy vibrato. So I'd advise you to stick with the bluesy vibrato if you're just starting out. And then there's all sorts of combinations of the two vibratos you can use. Steve Vai uses one where he sort of moves his fingers in a circle around a fret, which is really interesting. But just experiment, just try things out. The guitar is like a human voice, in effect. It's your voice as a musician, and you want to get used to talking with it. So this is the end of the second lesson from Way of the Beret. Peace out, keep practicing.